Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well. Another Russian drone and missile attack on Ukraine, and guess what? One of those drones violated the Romanian airspace. Romania is a NATO member state, and it protests. NATO also protests. So what do you think would be the consequences, and what should Romania, being independent, should do? Well, that's one topic. Another topic we have with Russia launching about 800 glide bombs, nearly 300 drones, and over 60 missiles in a week, Zelenskyy claims. There's another one. The Ukrainians have, or developed, if they're the ones that really matter, they use a so-called Dragon drone, which is a drone that just releases a burning fire, a burning chemical on Russian troops. Well, if you look like this, what's next? I think they will copy their masters using maybe napalm, like they used in Vietnam, or maybe Agent Orange, or what exactly? So that's the new way of defending their country. We're going to discuss that one. The other one, we got this imbecile called Lindsey Graham. Remember, Lindsey Graham called for elimination of Putin, changing the regime or the government, the legitimate government of sovereign independent country of Russia. Now he tells us the truth, and I like when he tells the truth, but he tells it, I don't think he really wanted to say it that way, but he tells us the reason why the United States of America is involved in Ukraine. Now, the reason he is using, I think, is part of it, which is resources, and you're going to find out how many resources does Ukraine have. I will show you. According to Mr. Lindsey Graham, senator of what, South Carolina? Well, the Russians take Ukrainian town in advance on Pokrovsk. I will show you a map as well. The Russians continue their quick advance in Pokrovsk in Donetsk region, Oblast, and it seems like that's a reality. Every day they liberate or take over a Ukrainian town. I will show you the next one. I will show you a map, or actually two maps as well. So let's start with the beginning, which is an overnight attack on Ukraine conducted by the Russians from the 7th on the 8th of September 2024. So here we have, where are my glasses? Right here. Ukrainska Pravda. Ukrainian air defenses destroy 15 out of 23 Shahed UAVs and 1 out of 4 missiles launched by Russia overnight, September 8, 2024. The evidence is right here. You see this? This is the evidence, and there's the missile right there. It looks like a missile. Ukrainian defenses shot down 1 Russian Kh-59 air-to-ground missile and 15 Shahed loitering munitions over the course of an air defense operation on the night of 7 to 8 September. The Russians reportedly launched 4 Kh-59 air-to-ground missiles from Belgorod Oblast and 23 Shahed-type loitering munitions from Kursk, Russia, and Shauda in occupied Crimea. So the missiles were launched from an airplane in Belgorod Oblast, and these Shahed drones from Kursk and Shauda, Cape Shauda. Let me show you. So Belgorod is right here, this area, southeast of Kursk Oblast, where NATO invaded. And then we get Cape Shauda, which is in Crimean Peninsula right here. This is Cape Shauda. And it was something else, Kursk. Kursk, obviously, I showed you northwest of Belgorod, which is this. So from here and from Cape Shauda came the drones, and from here came the missiles, 4 of them. Ukrainian defense units responded to the Russian attack in Odessa, Kharkiv, and Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. Odessa, Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk. Odessa, right here. And why here? Because the drones that violated the Romanian airspace were located here by the Danube River. Well, I'm going to show you. So Odessa, Kharkiv, which is Kharkov is right here, and then Dnipropetrovsk here. All right, let's go further. Ukrinform. NATO condemns Russian violation into Romanian airspace. So the goal is for NATO to say to the baboons, and regardless if the baboons believe them, they will do it nevertheless because they don't care about us. Your territory was attacked by the evil Russians, violated clearly, we say so, and we condemn that, and we have to defend your countries and all that. So how can we do it? How about we prevent? That's a prevention is the term nowadays. You prevent how? I prevent you from committing a crime. I will take your guns away. Oh, you're a law-abiding citizen. It's okay. We just, prevent. Or we prevent you from causing accidents. You can't drive a car anymore. Or maybe drive a car with 5 miles per hour. That's it. This kind of preventions. And against, having a big house, we prevent you from, spending too much money. Therefore, you can't live in a house. You want to live in an apartment, state-owned apartment, so we can kick you out and have you under our thumb whenever we want. You can't be independent and self-reliable. Despite the fact that you still pay taxes, and if they want to get your house, they just increase the taxes. You can't pay, they take your house because you have to sell it. If there's a buyer, and the government always is the buyer because has the money. The printing machine is in its back pocket, and the international banking system. So obviously NATO wants to hit Russian incoming targets that hit Ukraine. They say we're going to defend ourselves, NATO countries, right, by hitting in over Ukraine the incoming drones. So prevent. It sounds logical to a certain extent. It's a lot of blocks that are between achieving this goal and, what are you going to do with Russia? Because Russia will say, well, you're actively involved. And the Russians said, if you from Romania or Poland, these are the main imbecile suspects, say we're going to hit across over the Ukrainian airspace, your drones or your missiles, Russia said, we're going to destroy your air defense systems in your own countries. And then NATO will say, we've been under attack. That's that's the evidence. We just protect you, therefore from that and so on. What can they do? Shoot them when they enter your territory. That's not your, you're not only authorized, you have no jurisdiction over anybody else's country, as far as I know. That's what they claim, sovereign, independent, and so on. Now, even if Ukraine claims, hey, you should help us, then you're going to be really, really at war. But hey, you are defending yourselves. So NATO is waiting for this. And we have a Romanian, Mircea Joană, who wants to run for a Romanian presidency after he lost from Mr. Băsescu, if you remember that one. And here he is, NATO Deputy Secretary General Mircea Joană. What did he do exactly? I tell you what did he do. I don't know if his father is still alive. I doubt, because I think he's 60-some. So his father was, I think, under Ceausescu, a general, was he? And I think during the revolution, he was at Casa Poporului, now the parliament's building in Bucharest. What was he doing over there? Well, I suspect, I don't have any evidence, but I suspect if one shoots up so fast as a son of someone else in the structures of NATO, the father, who was in the Romanian military, must have been a good friend with Mr. Atanasie Stănculescu, general, mind you. And that Atanasie Stănculescu was the guy who actually was a traitor. He was the guy who actually got Ceausescu in the helicopter and sent him away and dropped in the field. So Atanasie Stănculescu, the general, he was an MI6, according to Romanian, intelligence services. And for that, I refer you to Colonel Teodorescu. All right, for that one. He was the chief of Romanian intelligence at one point. He was a spy at one point I think in Sweden or in Nordic states. But look into that, my friends. Here. So, Mircea Joană, who is coming back from this because it's a dead-end position for him. He can't be a secretary of NATO. Already other guys more important than him. He's not important. He's just a tool. Condemned Russia's violation into the airspace of NATO member country. As overnight, a Russian drone flew into the Romanian territory. Yes, condemn it. Condemn it. Condemn it. I agree with that. NATO, and I'm quoting, condemns the overnight Russian airspace violation into Romanian airspace, while we have no information indicating an intentional attack by Russia against allies. These are irresponsible and potentially dangerous. Correct. But what are you providing Ukraine with? Training, weapons, transfer, information. So, to say that a drone, a $20,000 drone, fell in your little neighborhood, which was in a field by a village, and to be so upset, it's a little bit exaggerated, don't you think? When you provide all the support you can ordered by the master to your country, to your people, and you expose your country to a nuclear attack, I think that is irresponsible, don't you think? And if you're so concerned about the violation, why don't you call the Ukrainians to give you the territory they violate by being in their country? Like, North Bukovina, Bessarabia, including the, I would say, artificial country of Moldova, so-called, which is part of Bessarabia, the southern Bessarabia, all these are Romanian, including Snake Island in the Black Sea. When you, Joanna, will going to protest and tell the Ukrainians to give you that back and tell your masters to push them to give you that back, then I would pay attention and say, yes, you're a patriot, you are a sincere Romanian. Until then, we know who you are. Next one. Ukrainska Pravda, Romanian Foreign Ministry protests over Russian Shahed drone entering territory. I would like you to protest on having this territory in Ukraine, this Black Sea island of Snake Island right here in Ukraine, and the existence of this artificial country of Moldova being artificial country. So when you're going to get all this back, then I would pay attention to your protest. Yes, you should protest. The same thing as with these guys when I say Putin is a war criminal. Okay, well, we can discuss that. But first, let's discuss the guys who bombarded Yugoslavia. All those leaders in charge of bombarding illegal Yugoslavia. And then after Clinton, obviously, we get to George W. Bush Jr. with Dick Cheney and Rumsfeld and all those garbages. And then we go further, and then we go, Condoleezza Rice as well, because of September 11. Then we go further, we go to what? We go to Obama, and Obama, remember, Libya and Syria. That's not good. And then we go to Hillary Clinton, who was his Secretary of State at that time, right? we saw, and he died, celebrating the death of Gaddafi like that. And then you can go to Mr. Obama, as I said. You can go next to Trump. No, you can't really go to Trump. No, you go to the next one, to this guy right now, to semi-conscious Biden with Ukraine. And it's not over with Ukraine. You're going to get the Houthis, you're going to get Israel, you're going to get Iran, you're going to get Far East on his way out. So yeah, okay, all right, I agree with distributing justice, but let's do it chronologically, shall we? Oh no. It is just pick and choose, preferential, situational. The Romanian Ministry of Foreign Affairs has protested to violation of the country's airspace by a Russian drone on the night of Sunday. I agree, man. I agree. You should protest. I agree. You should hit that drone down. I agree. You should declare war to Russia. No, you won't. You know when you will? When that guy tells you should do. And you remember what General de Gaulle, which I always mention this, General de Gaulle, that guy, said many times to his European counterparts. Remember two things. One, Great Britain or England is an island. And the second one, the Americans don't live in Europe. That means when we're going to be fucked by whomever, those guys going to be outside. And we're going to be the ones that are going to get the fighting. So the same here. Yes, Romania, what are you going to do? Are you going to declare war? What are you going to do? No, you won't, unless he tells you. What are you going to do? Are you going to shoot over in Ukraine? No, because Russia will hit you inside your country. If the boss says that, you will do it. So what are you going to do? Stay like this and hope that they will not hit anything else? I guess. I mean, the Russians are not using nuclear weapons yet. So a little bit of restraint for that little drone falling somewhere in the field. Not attacking you, attacking some. I know it's not right, but how many things you do, they're wrong. So why don't you fix your fucked up backyard, and then you tell me about my little, mold on the wall. All right, let's move on. So much outrage. The Ministry, I'm quoting, of Foreign Affairs urges to stop the repeated attacks on the Ukrainian population and civilian infrastructure. Well, why didn't you agree? Why didn't you speak out and up during those NATO meetings when Russia asked to have a negotiation with NATO so they don't expand in Ukraine in 2021? Why didn't you speak up and say, no, we oppose it because this could lead to war? Why don't you do that? Why didn't you do that? Because you claimed, well, that's any country can, decide for themselves. Okay, Russia considered you guys are a threat to their national security. So they told you, you didn't back off. You went to Ukraine as NATO. You want to go and get it into their alliance. Therefore, these guys considered it a violation of the Ukrainian neutrality, which you actually broke in 2014 with the Americans helping some agencies helping the coup d'etat, violent, criminal coup d'etat traitors in Ukraine. Remember that? Did you say anything about that, Romania? No. Then sit the fuck down. All right? This outrage, I understand. This would be in a normal world, but remember, let's cite the Bible a little bit for all those people who, the person who has no sins should cast the first stone. So Romania, before you cast and pass judgment, why don't you clean your shit? That's exactly what I thought. Get the fuck back in your little Dymbovica. Leave me the fuck alone. All right, let's move on. I see how I get myself irritated like an imbecile. All right. Now, Euronews. Romania scrambled F-16 jets after Russian drones violates its airspace. Good for you. Make sure you don't have a friendly fire, okay? Because it seems like you are baboons as well. Russian drones violated, Romania deployed F-16 warplanes to monitor its airspace. Great, and shoot that down. And NATO allies were kept informed. Yes, sir. Romania Emergency Agency issued text residents. Let's see. The preliminary data indicates there may be an impact zone in an uninhabited area near the Romanian village of Periprava. The ministry said. It added that an investigation is underway. Fragments of the Russian drones were discovered near the port of Plauru, which is situated across the Danube River from Ukraine's port town of Izmail. No, that's Romanian port town, but they say it's Ukrainian port town. Let me show you where that is garbage is located. All right, so Izmail. So remember, the Danube River comes like this, cuts Romania, and then bing, and then flows into the Black Sea. Right here where the Snake Island is, right where my strong hand is, right here. So we have all this, Izmail where my strong hand is, is the port on the Danube River. This is Romania, this is Basarabia, okay? This is Basarabia. But Romanians, that's a Ukrainian port Izmail. So over the Izmail right here, this is Tulcea, big Romanian town. So here somewhere the drones fell, Paraba, Plauru, Kapaluru, Topouru, in this area, all right? And they are, oh my God, it's a violation of our space. And these guys send airplanes, Hercules of weapons, and what else to these guys? This is Reni, another one that was to be attacked. And this is Galați, this is the Romanian town. So just so you know, all this, when they're going to get this back, when the Romanians are going to get this back and that, and the Snake Island right here, then I will, say, okay, all right, Romanians are Romanians. Until then, no, you are just serfs. All right. So we got this one. Next one. Romania searching for possible drone fragments after Russian attack on Ukraine. So again, we have this NATO member state shares 650 kilometers, 400-mile border with Ukraine, and has had Russian drone fragments stray into its territory repeatedly over the past year. Oh man, when enough is enough. Basically, that's what it is. Residents of southern Romanian counties of Tulcea and Constanța were warned to take cover. Now, just so you know, the biggest NATO airfield in Europe is located in here, in a town called Cogălnicianu. It's right here. I think that's the way it is because that's the way it is. So by Cogălnicianu, that's where NATO, it's full of NATO troops in this area, which is Belgians, Dutch, Americans, British, obviously, French, right here, thousands, right? So, Crimea River. All right, let's see what this guy is saying. The new voice of Ukraine. This baboon, look at him. Oh, you're getting white hair? Is that why you... Okay, you look like a guy from a bazaar. You know, I saw you. You know where I saw this guy? In that movie, Jesus Christ. Yeah. He wasn't Jesus Christ, I tell you that. All right. When Jesus Christ went into the temple, remember, and he threw all those tables around. I think I saw a few looking like. Russia launches over 800 glide bombs, nearly 300 drones, over 60 missiles at Ukraine in 1 week. Well, that's a lot. I tell you that. 300 drones, 60 missiles, but that really is. So this is what this guy tells us. Next one. Ukraine deploys Dragon drones against Russia, CNN. So napalm will be next. This is September 8th. Kiev's fire-spewing UAVs put a modern twist on historic thermite munitions, according to the broadcaster. And basically this drone just flies left and right if it's not shut down, and just drops peas on targets. That's what it does. I saw that on video. That's the way it is. Now, the Americans dropped napalm, man. These guys did it in what, the 60s and 70s, just fly and boom and poof. So I guess if they did it, these guys can do it, because you know those guys never done anything wrong. But if those guys used atomic bombs, then the Russians cannot use it. No, that's specific, made for the right people to use it, the good people. Right, so let's see what these guys are saying. Ukraine has begun flying UAVs that dropped thermite, a molten metal, on Russian forces at the front, CNN has reported. The incendiary munitions were developed in Deutschland, Germany, and widely used by the Nazis and allies alike during the Second World War. During the week, several Telegram channels linked to the Ukrainian military published videos of low-flying, fire-spewing drones targeting Russian positions in wooded areas, the broadcaster said in an article on Saturday. So these are called, nicknamed the Dragon drones, due to the molten metal that they deploy, resembling fire coming from the mouth of a mythical reptile, put a new twist on historical technology, he says. Thermite is a mix of aluminum powder. Aluminum is expensive. Who pays for that? You and I. Were we asked about it? No. We voted, man. We voted one time. An iron oxide that burns at a temperature of up of 2,200 degrees Celsius, 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The munition can rip through metal or quickly destroy vegetation that provides covers for troops. Incendiary weapons such as thermite, how did I know? Napalm and white phosphorus are not banned for combat under international law. All right, it's not. Thermite was I can only guess why napalm is not. Can you guess why? Because the right people used it, so they had the influence to do it. Okay, no. When you drop napalm, you just close your eyes and the napalm just burns everything around. So you don't know exactly what to do. That's the whole point with this. You can say, well, the same thing is with a shrapnel from a grenade or from a shell that explodes and so on. It is true. It is true. That's why this war should have been prevented. Hoppa. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Boy. All right, so now he says over there and is going to look outside. Yeah. Guard me. All right, so he says during the Second World War, both Nazis and Allies relied on thermite bombs. How about the Ukrainians? The Ukrainians did not have them, probably. Nicholas Jumo, defense industry analyst, a former British Army's officer, told CNN that the effect of Kiev Dragon drones would likely be psychological more than physical. That's what I thought. You know what? I saw the video. That's what the guy is talking about. I saw the video, and the drone is small, and recipient or whatever the thing is stored is small. So it's not going to pee more than, I'm going to fly a little bit this way, and that's it. Maybe 10 meters, let's say 20 meters at the most, and that's it. So I don't think so. It's not as efficient, and it flies slowly. You can, nevertheless, I'm not fighting the war, so it's their business. Next one, let's see what Lindsey Graham says. America is involved in Ukraine for? Did you like my sentence? Washington wants Ukraine's resources. US senator says yes, besides destroying Russia for the same reason, and China for, to own the market over there and the labor force. Kiev is sitting on and I'm quoting, $1 trillion worth of minerals. I made a video regarding this where I said the Russians talked about Donbass only, not a whole Ukraine, just Donbass. I said, I don't know how many trillions, a big number nevertheless. That are good for US economy. Good job, Lindsey. How is she doing? Oh, she's doing all right. Look at them. US Senator Lindsey Graham has openly said Washington needs Ukraine's natural resources and that, therefore, military aid to the country must continue until Kiev is able to win its conflict with Russia. So we can suck that resources. And I'm quoting, the Ukrainians, are sitting on $1 trillion worth of minerals that could be good for our economy. No, because you have to work. Who's going to work? You provide services. Those resources must be, processed. You have to extract them. Oh, you're going to have the Lebensstrom do it for you. The Ukraine's going to work for you. And they're going to send you the finite product to you. And you're going to give them paper money that you print. Oh, okay. That's how the rocket used to work from, 1973, when we had the petrodollar, when Mr. Nixon did it. My friends, you can make shit up. This is the way it is. The Ukrainians will provide you not with the resources, because you have to have manufacturing companies to turn it from a natural resource into a product. Who's going to do that? The Malaysians, who's going to do that? Indonesians, who's going to do that? Romanians, make them work. Okay, and it says, so I want to keep helping our friends. How is these guys our friends if you have an interest? It's like that. That's not a friend. It's just use the guy. We can win this. They need our help. We can win this. Who's we? Those guys are dying, are destroying their country, their nation, their people, for you to get their resources. But we can do it. I like when we fight a war, but you have the consequences, the negative consequences, and I take the positive consequences of that war. Who wouldn't like that? I tell you who wouldn't like. A person who is just. A person who's fair would say, that's not fair. Those guys are fighting for me. I take from Emil and everybody else resources, send them over there without asking them. We don't need to be, questioned and asked. And your participation is not required. Only one time to vote, and then we do whatever we want. That's the system. So, and the operatives are covering for the system, which are the legacy media, corporate media, these baboons. So anyway, and then we send you over there. You fight for us. Don't come over here, meow meow. You want to come through this? All right, what do you want? You want to come over here? You can go over there. Come over here. Sure. You want me to make some room over there for you? Okay, I want to make some room so you can sit over there and look outside. Terso, he's gone. Okay. So, it's not fair to have someone else fight for you, and this guy is just a senator, but he's going to provide. You can say, each person has his own duty. Yeah, but don't you think that I would like to be asked if that decision was made? That's a representative democracy for you. No, thank you. Not like that. All right, so let's get to the next one. The liberation or occupation. Russia takes Ukrainian town in advance on Pokrovsk. And we have here, Russia said on Sunday that its forces have taken full control of a town in eastern Ukraine as Moscow's forces advance quickly on the strategically important city of Pokrovsk and seek to pierce the Ukrainian defensive front lines. When the Russians will take Pokrovsk, I will make a video using a few articles from the West saying Pokrovsk was not important whatsoever. They did this with Bakhmut, they did this with many other towns. So let's see what town they took over. All right, so this is Russia's defense minister said its forces had taken the town of Novokhodivka, which lies 12 kilometers, 7 miles from Pokrovsk, an important rail and road hub for Ukrainian forces in the area. The town has a population of 14,000 before the war. Where is this? So we're going to go from Izmail and the Romanian territory. We're going to go straight here to Donetsk. and it is right here. This is Pokrovsk. The Russians call it differently, Krasnoarmeysk, right here. And this is the town. You don't see it here, but it's already taken right here. And I'm going to show you another map. Klapa, and you have like this map. Okay, Tuna. And we have here Pokrovsk, and here is Novoklopakamona. Here it is, Novohrodivka. They say they took over the entire town. This supposedly it was updated on the 8th, but this is the town, I guess. And this is the, so maybe this is another little village of Bethlehem. So this is, according to this guy, 7 miles from Pokrovsk, and they will go like this, and they were going to go like this. And that's it. All right, my friends, what do you think the Romanians should do? The Romanians should shut up and work for their own interests. Right now, Romania is under military occupation. That's my assessment of that. Political occupation, economic occupation, and cultural occupation. And some of them, the Romanians are very happy about it. You know why? Because some of them have a mentality of like Nietzsche's morality of master morality, and slave morality. I urge you to read about it. Don't listen to YouTube. There are some videos. In 10 minutes, they can explain beautifully what that is if you don't want to read Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche. And a lot of Romanians, from my direct experience, have the latter mentality or morality, which is not the master, but is that kind. And they're happy to be protected. Now, as a child, people who like to be protected by someone else are weak. They like to be subordinates. Why? Because they're weak. It's hard to plan ahead. It's hard to prepare. It's hard to get stronger and to fight alone against many enemies. It's easier to just stay over here like Lindsey Graham and have other people fight for you, isn't it? And you consider yourself smart. In nowadays culture, that's considered being sneaky. Smart. You're a smart man. You got those guys fight for you. They died. They destroyed their country, and you get the resources. Wasn't that smart? And everybody says agrees. I don't think that's smart. I think this is a weasel way. This is a poor way. It's a criminal way. But hey, this is the new mentality coming from a certain kind of ideology. And ideology is, unfortunately, if you're gonna listen to Nietzsche's master morality and slave morality, you're gonna hear that when he talks about the slave morality, he's gonna use a certain kind of ideology to make his point, the ideology of resentment. That is, I can't make it. Let's take it from them. Oh, my life is going to be on the other, and not here. It's there, in the other kingdom. You got that hint? That's what he said. Now, you don't have to agree with that, but just pay attention. Look around you. Go around the block a few times. And you're going to figure out, yeah, these guys who want to take from someone else and give it to someone else, but not from them. No, we don't give it. Like many Americans here. Oh, Opa, hello, I'm coming. So you have, for instance, people here who are just want to take from somewhere and give to someone else. Never from themselves. Never. Oh, I want these guys to take from the millionaires, billionaires, and give it to the poor people. But you are a millionaire considered with 90% of the population. 7 billion. At least 6 billion live like shit, less than you, just because you are where you are. Oh, I make only $40,000 a year. I wonder how much a guy in Kenya or in Zimbabwe makes. How about that? Or who knows where, in Papua New Guinea. So it depends who you report relative to whom. You analyze all this. And they always look up. Why? Resentment. Even though they are right there on top. So thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.